good. Eye test and skill-wise, he's one of the greatest guards to ever step on the basketball court, period. But because of injuries and personal decisions, he doesn't have the accomplishments to match his ability. He's probably only accomplished or been 70% of the player that he could be. And I'm not ripping his personal beliefs and decisions. He's got the right to believe what he wants. But you look at the injuries, obviously that's been a factor. But the decision-making, leaving LeBron James in Cleveland, that hurt. That may have cost Kyrie a championship. And if he has another championship to go along with the one in 2016, he's probably on that top 75 list of greatest players ever. Okay? Secondly, his poor leadership in Boston led that team to underachieve when he was on the floor. They actually achieved more without him than they did with him. And then this year, his refusal to get vaccinated. So Kyrie Irving is the only player that can stop Kyrie Irving. So that's the first thing I learned. Secondly, I learned that Nick Wright, and I think Kevin Wildes, I'm not 100% sure, but I think Kevin Wildes, owe me a huge apology because I was laughed to scorn when I said a few months ago that Kyrie Irving is a first ballot Hall of Famer, period. I think Wildes was on that corner with Nick, but Nick definitely thought I was off my rocker, and I'm waiting for your apology, Nick Wright.
Well, I'll deliver the apology at the Chris Broussard Hall of Fame. The problem is it's packed. I can't get in. We're over capacity at the Chris Broussard Hall of Fame because everybody's in. You don't need an invite. You don't need an RSVP. You're just in. First, listen, Kyrie's going to make the Hall of Fame. I don't dispute that. I think I scoffed at the idea that he was already a first ballot walk-in Hall of Famer. That's a touch too far. But don't worry, Brew, because I think Wildes is going to go even further. So Kevin Wildes, let's go ahead. Let's prisoner of the moment this thing all the way to infinitum, please.
This is not prisoner of the moment. Watching the game last night, you saw a top 75 player of all time. And Nick, I know that you are beholden to your statistics. Wildes, you can't say it. You can't prove that Kyrie is a top 75 player when you crunch the numbers. Well, you know what else I can't prove? That a sunset is top 75 most beautiful things I've ever seen. Prove it, Wildes. I don't know. I just feel it. I just know when I'm watching it, I'm watching something special, and I can say, you know what? Sunsets, top 75. You can't convince me otherwise. But since we have to sort of rate people and put people ahead of other people, if you're twisting my arm, someone's got to come out. Well, someone's got to come out top 75. Then how about your buddy Reggie Miller? If I have to take somebody out, he's the one guy that Kyrie averages more points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. The rare Kyrie versus Reggie Miller block battle. So there's a simple switch. You can take Reggie out, say, Reggie, great job, but your numbers are always going to be kind of like consistently going down. You were early to market with the three-pointers. But Kyrie is a better player than you and belongs on the top 75.
Of course he is.
So that's
Of course he is. Reggie Miller was Reggie Miller was an outrageous inclusion on the top 75
incredible.
List.
Incredible.
It's just truth telling.
I mean, my goodness.
It's just truth telling. But just real quick, so here's the problem, Wildes, and there's a lot of problems with that. But before I get to the problems, let me say this. Kyrie was utterly phenomenal last night. I agree with almost everything Bruce said. He's been his own worst enemy throughout the majority of his career. When he's on, people, 60 points at 6'2". Come on now. And by the way, he could have gotten 70. He absolutely could have gotten, he came out with 7.5, 8 minutes left? I thought, when I was watching this game, I'm not going to act like I was watching it from opening tip. Magic Nets was not top of my list. But once you saw what Kyrie was doing, I turned it on. I thought there was a moment where Kobe's 81 could be in play. So so let me say all that because that is true. Now let me deal with Wildes' nonsense. First of all, I'll meet you at the Reggie Miller thing. You're right. Unfortunately for you, the top 75 list was 76 guys. So you take Reggie off, we're still at 75. We got to kick someone else off. The other problem is you got Kyrie jumping the line of Tracy McGrady, your dear friend Tracy McGrady. You got Kyrie jumping the line of Dwight Howard. You got Kyrie jumping the line of Bernard King or Sidney Moncrief.
Yes.
You probably do because you don't respect the older basketball players, but me and Broussard do. So let's just compare him to the other guys on the list who have played the least amount of minutes. Because that's the reason Kyrie didn't make the list was because he hasn't played enough. Okay, who we removing? Those are first, second team All-NBAs, top 5 MVP finishes, and top 10 MVP finishes. So your sunset analogy was really interesting. But what if every year, Wilds, you had 100 people come together and vote on the 10 most beautiful things they saw? And not once did any of them ever vote sunset. And we might say, you know what, sunset's not as great as we once thought. Kyrie Irving, Brew, for as great as he is, as he could be, as he can be, Kyrie Irving, once in his career, and you guys make a big deal of this. You know who's not a part of this? Me, because I don't have a vote. I got nothing to do with it. My hands are clean as can be. I don't have a vote. But the people who do, at the end of the year, every year, they vote first, second, third team All-NBA. Kyrie's been first or second team once. They also vote for MVP candidates. He's never received a single vote.
Hurts my feelings.
No, he's never received a vote. No top anything. He's never received a single, even fifth place vote.
That's bizarre. That one shocked me.
A lot of those are injuries too. And I look at this list, that's a nice list, Nick. And the guy I look at is Anthony Davis. All right, because they're similar. I mean, Davis has been hurt a lot.
Sure.
Kyrie has been hurt a lot. They both won one championship with LeBron. Obviously, AD is a better defensive player and all that. But you put up a list like that last week with Dwayne Wade and James Harden. And Harden would have many more accomplishments individually than Dwayne Wade did. But Wade, because of the championships, outdistanced Harden in terms of your rankings and my rankings as well. But Kyrie, I think you could put him over. And there are other guys. You mentioned Dwight Howard and some other guys. I'm with you on that. Tracy McGrady, too. But you could put him ahead of Anthony Davis because Kyrie hit arguably the greatest shot in NBA history. I would say the second best after Ray Allen's shot in Game 6 against San Antonio. But Kyrie's shot to win the 3-1 comeback, the only one in NBA Finals history, Kyrie averaged 27 points in that series. I would argue you could put Kyrie ahead of Anthony Davis. You really could. Dame has accomplished more, obviously Kawhi, but you could put him ahead of AD.
Wilds, I heard you muttering. The commonality there is two guys who played the best basketball of their lives alongside LeBron James or had the greatest moments of their life alongside LeBron James. That's the commonality. So there you go. But to answer But I believe Anthony Davis's peak, and I think the MVP finishes show it, has been higher than Kyrie. But Anthony Davis also was, I would imagine, one of the last top 75 inclusions. Anthony Davis, for his career, not for a series, for his career in the playoffs, is 27 a game. And, Brew, we're talking great shots. AD did hit a playoff game-winning buzzer beater over the guy I'm told might end up the greatest player ever, Nikola Jokic. So what more do you want from him? Western Conference Finals over the GOAT, Jokic. I mean, that's got it. No, but it's over the GOAT. It's over Jokic.
Here's the bone I'll throw you, Wilds. If Kyrie stays healthy and plays full time like the rest of his career, which 5, 6 years,
no question.
He could be added, in 25 years, he could be added to that top 100 team, just like